positive live chat experience. Choose. Okay, that's fine. I don't know why they would say that right when I go live. Put that in all the little setup things. You know what I'm saying? And everything. Hey, what it do, love those? It's your girl Indigo. You see, I'm a cartoon character. I was thinking, I was kind of chuckling to myself because I'm my own best friend, me and Jesus Cristo and stuff. But yeah, I was chuckling to myself because I was like, I honestly at this point I don't know how long I've had this shirt and everything, but I was like, I should do like a contest to see. This is always just such a weird angle. That's such a weird angle. Okay, I guess I don't know. Yeah, it's coming down. It's fine. So yeah, so the competition, right? The competition should be like go through all the go through all the past videos and see how many times you see I done worn this shirt. I'm a cartoon character on the damn spectrum, you know what I'm saying? And balances galore and everything. The gift that keeps on giving and stuff. Like my bracelet says blessed, and if you can see that and everything like that. Well, I don't have much time. Got Tyler running rampaging and everything. Already had a Cheerio casualty and everything like that. And I didn't realize my legs would be so obviously showing from this angle. But here be my knees and stuff. So, anyways, let's get this going. Um, yeah. So, first and foremost, let's get the housekeeping out the way. If this is your first time, the Apex Radio Show TV platform, Apex Radio TV show platform, Apex Radio TV show platform. Welcome. It's your first time, running into Apex Radio show. Welcome. If it's not, welcome back. It's me, your girl Indigo. Hey, what do you say? What do you do, love doves, and everything like that. And so, yeah, and we just, I talk from my head, my heart, and come back. Sometimes I refine the message, but right now I got like a moderately hot off the press. I guess it's been, I don't know, time is weird. So it's definitely been the past day or so and everything kind of marinating and anteing up. But basically, I titled this one, might change it, might not, but here we go on record. The presence of the past and everything. So basically, just jump right in it. Like I said, Cheerios have already lost. The big box. You know what I'm saying, and everything. You know, and it is what it is. We've already lost a pair of underwears and everything. So potty training is ongoing. Like like he's there. He's there. He'll get to the pot. We have two potties. He'll get to the pot, and he'll do number one and number two, and everything, and do it just fine. I'm still working on the mechanics of getting the pants, down and up and everything, so he can be fully autonomous. But yeah, some mornings we miss the mark. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Continually learning. So as a parent myself in my own spiritual journey, yeah, I see a lot of parallels, as far as like my spiritual journey and being a parent and just like, rearing my children and everything. So, I use that as an example a lot of the time. So it's just interesting. Like sometimes, that's what I'm saying. Like presence of the past. Like sometimes you think the past is in the past, but it's like it's not ever really in the past. It's always present with you. You know what I'm saying? Even though on like a biological level, our cells regenerate, and you're never really fully like physically the same person because our cells regenerate at such a rate that technically, that's why I say every day is a birthday, because technically, if enough time passes, you are literally a new person. But the thing that continues is the continuation, even from like our bloodlines. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the continuation of your parents, they're the continuation of their parents, and so on, so on, so on, so on. So really, like you are your ancestors in a certain biological level and everything like that. It gets real cool and everything. Hola. Vuelta mi amor. Date una vuelta mi amor. Hey, how you doing? Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Welcome. And everything. ¿De dónde eres tú? So, yeah, so it gets I'm saying? It gets deep and everything like that. So basically, the presence of the past, right? So the past is always present with you. So in our journey, sometimes we like to think that we done squared away stuff, then lock and key, threw away the key, and I'm no longer that. But you're kind of throwing away a present that was gifted to you. You know what I'm saying? Especially after like a particularly tumultuous time, or a particularly trying time, or tribulating time. You know what I'm saying? And everything, because the present is the blessing that that when you pass the test, ideally you're going through a trial and tribulation, you're being trialed, you're being tested, and then ideally, you learn the lesson you're supposed to learn during that time, and then you pass it. The thing about that passing, grade, is it's something that just showed that you learned something. You know what I'm saying? That you now have that knowledge that you can take with you to the next level. And then the thing is, what happens is, if we don't learn that lesson, or we don't pass the test, and that's when we repeat these cycles until we can get off the treadmill and move on to the next the next exercise machine. The next, you're not always doing leg day. You know what I'm saying? You'd be weird if all you did was just lift weights. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't do legs and all you did was just lift weights, you'd be like top heavy and you'd be like bottom slim. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want proportion, you want balance. So when we're going to trials and tribulations, the whole thing is to learn the lesson of the trial and tribulation at the time, package it, take it with you to the next machine, until the next time it's time to work that muscle again, that spiritual muscle. You know what I'm saying? So like when you leave it at, you're like, okay, so using the exercise example, after you do some reps, you can't leave the reps there. The reps go with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you done broke down the muscles have to build themselves up and everything like that. Working a certain body part, you take the results with you. And then that's how, that's why I don't look like what I've been through. You know what I'm saying? People would be shocked. Buenos bienes. Okay. Oh, thank you, gracias. Gracias. So people will be shocked. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't look like what you started when you start the gym. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you start at a certain weight. Like let's say wait, how we say it? Más dos cuentes, cien, I don't know how you say it. Over 200 pounds, right? Let's say you're over 200 pounds, and and like whatever. I don't know. Everyone's different. I can't even say pounds, because 200 pounds on a 5-foot person is different than 200 pounds on a 6-foot person. So who even cares about the number for real? Let's say you start at a less than ideal weight for you. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it holistic, because this is global. Oh no, he's coming. Oh no. Wait 1 second. Yes? Oh no, the world can't see. Oh gracious. Say hi. Okay, go back to Josiah. Josiah, come get him, please. Josiah, please. Can you come get your brother, please? No, okay, come get your brother, please. 1 second. How you gotta pee? Huh? You gotta go use the potty in your room. Can you go get your brother real quick, please? We do the video. Okay. All right. That's why I try to talk real quick. My apologies. I talk fast for a reason, okay? So exercising, spiritual exercise, right? Okay, we're working out in the spiritual gym, right? We're on the leg machine. Well, then we move from the leg machine, we move to the arm machine, right? And then we get our cardio up, right? We gotta keep it balanced, okay? And everything like that. So once you're done with the leg machine, you move on to the arm machine. You're still going to feel the effects of the exercise you just did, because the actual effects goes with you. Same thing with your spiritual journey. It doesn't feel good when we're going through trials and tribulations. It doesn't feel good when we're working out either, right? Whew. Man, I just ran up. It doesn't feel good when we're working out either. It's not, it doesn't feel good to sweat the bullets and to lose the pounds and everything. And then, I have a toddler. I done said it. I started with the toddler, so I have him, and I'm trying to get the message out. That's why they don't come out hot all the time. so so basically, the past goes with you. You know what I'm saying? The past exercise, the past work you've done, the past work you've gone in, the presence is the results that you get, that you don't look like how you started, okay? So that's what I'm trying to massage. That's the message I'm trying to massage out here. So when you think that you're package up the past and you hiding it or whatever, and you're not owning up to it and everything like that, then basically you're putting you're declining a blessing, you're declining the presence, you're declining the lesson that was meant for you to take out of that certain season with you. You know what I'm saying? Prime example. I just watched Joseph, like that. It was a animated movie, Joseph, about from the Bible, the Old Testament story about the second to youngest ended up being the second to youngest son of Jacob, who ended up being Israel, who started the 12 tribes and everything like that. All 12 of his sons, separated into different tribes. Not here to do a history lesson, but Joseph was like the miracle child because Rachel, his beloved that he originally wanted before he ended up with the four wives. She ended up having a child. She ended up, struggling to have children and everything like that, even though she was like his, the wife that he chose initially due to her looks. But, blah, blah, blah. Go read the Bible. It gets spicy. You over here watch the telenovelas. The Bible has some juicy bits in it, a lot of juicy bits. So Rachel ended up having baby and everything. It was tough for her to bear children and everything. She was barren at first. And Joseph, so he was just like kind of separated from his brothers, given preferential treatment. She was the preferred wife, and then she had this baby that nobody thought she was gonna have. So he was just like the favorite son. His brothers ended up selling him to slavery, in Egypt due to their jealousy, due to their divine jealousy. That's what I'm saying. Like once you really start like lifting up in the weights in the gym, you just realize not to take nothing personal, because you realize it's all to your good. And everything. So, and the presence, you look back and it's a present, because it's like in hindsight, this and this and this and this wouldn't have happened if this and this and this didn't happen to me. You know what I'm saying? Or for me or whatever. Like you said, it gets real flexible. So just like when you're stretching, okay? You maintain your flexibility when you stretch, okay? Okay, like you lose it if you don't use it. Okay, so we got to stretch spiritually, and then we can grow and expand our minds. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tie all these different parts and pieces together, because we have different bodies. We got our physical body, we got our mental body, our emotional body, we have our spiritual body that ties it all together. And the spiritual body is the one that we're not really taught with, and then we've got this dirty lens sometimes called religion that kind of dirties it up, but it is what it is and everything. So it's a construct. So basically, like I said, what was it? So he's sold into slavery by his brothers, right? And then, then he works for this one guy, Potiphar, and then Potiphar's wife is a floozy. She likes, Joseph came from a pretty mom, so he was a good looking guy. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, he was taken care of and stuff, so he looked good, for a slave and stuff. And so the wife, she set eyes on him and stuff like that. Again, this was divine. This was divine trial and tribulation. Like, that was a chance for him to be like, oh, like how some present guys do. What was I supposed to do? She was throwing it at me. He said no. That's a choice. He said nay. Hi, Tomboy. How you doing? I'm sorry, I'm just now seeing it. How are you today? How was the birthday party? Did it happen yet? or am I too early or too late? How was the birthday party? And so and then so yeah, so he said no. That's a choice. A woman throws herself at you, a man throws himself at you. No is a choice. It doesn't. You don't always have to take what's being served to you. And then he got thrown in jail. He almost got executed. But then the wife, she was like, she realized she was being a little tawdry, little hoochie, whatever. And so the wife was like, no, he don't deserve to die. He don't deserve all that and everything. So he still got put in jail off of principle, which is unfortunate. So he ended up spending, years in jail and everything. And that before that time, he ended up prophesying for two individuals. One was sent to death, one was sent to the king and everything. And so, the story went on. He ended up being pulled out of the jail time and everything. And then he got, because of the relationships that he had built, because each time, even though he was in bondage, he was showing like his dad had like educated him different from his brothers, so he was separated. And this ties into my previous message of just being okay with being holy. He didn't understand why he's being separated from his brothers. It created this rift between him and his brothers, like, why am I being treated differently? Why am I being educated differently? And his father was prophetic, so his father knew, he had a relationship with God, so his father knew that he was meant for something else. He didn't quite know what, because we don't all the details, but he knew that his son was meant to be educated in a different way. Due to his separated education, when he did get thrown into bondage, his trial and tribulation, he was able to pass his test. Having free will, it could have went any other way, but due to his personal integrity, personal sense of self, personal, he grew up around money and stuff like that. So even though he was a slave, he was an educated slave from a rich family, rich household. You know what I'm saying? So he knew who he was the whole time. Identity. You know what I'm saying? So all of these themes, if you look at my past videos, all these themes are tying together. Tomboy, how was the birthday party? If you're still on, if I didn't catch you, um, and so like it's this continuity that's beyond our understanding, that just if you stay in your position, stay in your place, everything will come to you in time. You know what I'm saying? So even though he spent that time in jail, he got centered. He learned how to find peace and contentment even under the being in prison. You know what I'm saying? So that when he was called to the palace, he was in the perfect frame of mind to answer as he needed to be a vessel for the answer that eventually saved the entire nation, and then eventually saved his family. Even though he still had some unresolved childhood trauma. Something else I also talk about. Even though he had unresolved childhood trauma, when he did run into his brothers, and he did, he had to be faced with that. He had to come up. That had to come up for him to actually elevate to the purpose of his destiny. So all that to say is that the presence of the past is a present. You know what I'm saying? The presence of the past is sometimes like, sometimes it can be that test, that I really work all that I really do enough inner work to really meet the challenges that are facing me today. Am I able to actually rise up and answer the call of my destiny, and be the answer to the questions and the problems of the people that were placed in my lives, even though they may not have treated me like the present and the blessing that I was, created to be for them. You know what I'm saying? Because even the divine, even divine, what is the word? Treachery and betrayal. That's divine. You know what I'm saying? If it's allowed to happen, it's from God, and it's for us to process it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this might be a little high level and everything like that. Let it marinate, chew on it a little bit and everything. But it is the message that I've been marinating on and everything like that. So and it's been coming all together. I'm not gonna probably talk about it now, because I do I do gotta get the let the train leave the station for today and everything. Although I did get started and everything, but I did watch Wicked. I wasn't gonna watch it, and everything. Got to be careful of your portals, your eyes and your ears and your mouth, what you consume and everything. But I did eventually watch it. It was free on Prime or whatever. I paid for Prime, so I saw it on Prime. I wasn't going to go out my way to pay for it. And it was interesting. It had some interesting messages in there too, just about, how everyone can't go with you when it is time to step into your destiny or your divine purpose, although it does have, witchcraft and stuff like that. Again, presence of the past. Everybody's coming from something. Everybody's coming from a different place. Everybody has the same opportunity to come out of wherever they're at. So, it's really not about judgment. It's about just knowing that you have a choice no matter where you're at and what you're doing. And so yeah, so all that, yeah, so I'll deal with that a little bit later, probably. I don't know. Who knows? But I would like to speak on like the themes and everything that's in that from like a spiritual perspective, the Wicked movie and everything. But for right now, I'll leave it at Presence of the Past, the story of Joseph, and how he was like, betrayed by his brothers, and how like that divine betrayal, we can't, he couldn't even sit and feeling mad about his brother, because he eventually got to the point where he was able to save his entire family. If that never happened, he would never been put in position to, to answer the call, of his destiny. And the beautiful part of the story is not that the things that happened to him, how he overcame them. It was that he had a decision at every single juncture that he could have, that any time if he had made a different decision, it any other type of way. And we all have these decisions that face us every day. Are you going to sit in the misery and the betrayal and everything like the enemy wants you to, oh, they did this to me, boop, 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 you know what I'm saying? Or are you going to like take it, package it up into something that you can use, being in the spiritual gym, working on our spiritual muscles, spiritual biceps, our spiritual flexibility and everything like that. And are we going to, transcend it, transmute it, and turn it into something that's powerful for us? You know what I'm saying? That's going to put us in position to actually play our part. You feel me? So happy Monday. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe if you like the vibe, a like if you might, and share if you care. You feel me? Maybe this might go to somebody that might need it or whatever. I do not know. I'm just here so I don't get fined, okay? And everything. Definitely not monetized and stuff. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like hopefully hopefully it makes sense. I said, like, I talk from the head and the heart and everything, and I share with you, and then as necessary I refine the message. But I think that's what it is. The presence of the past. You know what I'm saying? So play on the word. As a present, the presence. The actual the actual like presence, like it's with you. The past is with you all the time, and then you have the personal power and the free will to turn it into a positive or a negative thing, to transmute it. So the enemy always wants you to pick the easy thing, which is to just stay mad at people. But all that does, they sleeping like babies. You know what I'm saying? They not even thinking, but they out there ruining somebody else's life. You know what I'm saying? Like you need, like, forgiveness is for you. You know what I'm saying? Like forgiveness and letting it go and giving it up to God, that's for you. You know what I'm saying? Like they out there ruining more lives than yours, and all you doing is sitting replaying it and stuff like that. So yeah, the presence of the past is a present, and make sure that you are taking everything from each trial, each tribulation, each lesson, and taking as much as you can, squeezing as much juice out of it so that you can get what you can get out of it. Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna be signing off. Still got Cheerios to clean. Uh-oh, there he is. Uh-oh. So I'm gonna be signing off. Blessings to everybody, loving everybody, and yeah, and that's it. I'm gonna be signing off energetically. Bye. Tomboy, if you jump back on here, I want to know about that birthday party. All right, later.